guys, welcome to Sew Bliss. Today I'm going to show you how to make this braided t-shirt rug out of old t-shirts. And I used about 10 to 12 old t-shirts. You can make it as big as you want, so plan on having however many t-shirts you need to do that. And then I used all of my basic sewing supplies. So I had my sewing machine, my scissors, and my thread. So let's get started. Our first step in making the rug is going to be getting all of our t-shirts and cutting them into strips. So I'm just going to start with this one that I have on top, and I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut a slit up the edge. Just about 1 inch to 2 inches is how wide I'm going to make the strips, but you don't really need to measure, you can just estimate it. So I've cut up my shirt about 1.5 inches, 2 inches. And then I'm just going to cut all the way around the shirt. And I'm only cutting through one layer, so that way I can just kind of wind up the whole shirt. Now, when I get back to where I started, which is right here, I'm actually just going to start curving up so that I can keep going around the shirt and the pieces will still be attached. And then I can just keep cutting all the way around. Once I've cut all the way to the top of the shirt, right here where the armpit is, I'm just going to cut that strip off and end the really long piece that I just now made. And you can continue cutting strips out of this piece, this top piece, the back and the front, and then you will just sew those ends together and sew them to your really long piece that we just made. If I had a print on my shirt, I would just cut the print out and then cut however many strips I could out of the remaining fabric, but you don't want to cut the print of a shirt. Once I had all of my strips cut out, I just sewed the shorter ones together using a zigzag stitch, and now I just have a really long tail. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it into a ball. So on one end I'm just going to tie a little slip knot, and then I'm going to start wrapping the pieces around it. So that way it'll just keep the pieces organized, and then when I go to braid it, it'll be all ready for me to braid. Now I'll just tuck the tail in and put that off to the side while I cut out the rest of my t-shirts. Once you're done cutting out all of your t-shirts and you have wrapped the strands into balls, next we're going to take 3 colors, and I just tied a knot at the end and I made it really tight. And then I'm going to take the strands and just start braiding. Now I have found that the farther you get along, you want to keep it tight. And you might want to get like a clip or something, like a hair clip, or this is a chip clip. And I just keep it on there so that it'll keep it and it won't fall out. And then I can just keep going along. And you might even want to get something to hold this end. You could hold it with your feet, or you could just put something heavy on it as you continue to braid the rest of it. And then I'm just going to keep going all the way down. When I get to the end of one of my strands, all I need to do is take another ball that I've created, and I'm going to put the pieces on top of each other, and I'm just going to do a zigzag stitch along here just to secure those pieces together, and then I'll just continue on to the next ball. And I'm going to continue doing this until I have no more strips left. Once you have all your strands braided together, we are then ready to start actually sewing it together and making it into a rug. So to start that, you're going to have to decide the length that you want it to start out being. And depending on how long your strand is at first, that's going to determine how wide and how long your rug is going to be. So I just want to do like a basic in front of the door rug. So I'm just going to do a little bit longer than 1 foot. I'm going to start out right about this length that's laying on my table. And then I'm going to take the other strand and I'm going to curve it around just like this and just lay it flat and pull it up just like this. So to start sewing, I'm just going to come to this end and pinch these two together, and I'm going to sew a zigzag stitch all along here, and that will connect these two strips together. So I just have them flat and lay it together, and I'm going to connect that with a zigzag stitch. So if I go to my machine, I'm going to set my machine to the widest zigzag stitch, and I'm actually going to just leave it at a regular length and see how that goes. So I'm just going to experiment a little. You might have to just try it out a few times with your sewing machine and see what works best for you. Be careful because this is going to be thick fabric and you don't want to be breaking a ton of needles. So to sew, I'm just going to pinch my sides together just like this, and then I'm just going to turn my wheel and sew a little bit and see how it looks. And it's reaching both sides, so it looks good to me. After you've sewn down those 2 strips, then you can just keep sewing all the way around. So what you're going to do is, this is going to be the end of mine. I'm going to wrap it around and then pull it up the other side and sew all the way along there. And then once I come to the end again, I'll wrap it around and keep sewing. So I'll just sew all the way around until I have no more strips left. After you have sewn the last edge to the edge of your rug, you are all done with your rug. One thing that I want to make sure you guys know, when you're going around the curved edge, to make sure not to pull tight and to do it very loosely so that your rug doesn't curl. Mine's curling a little, so that means I didn't do mine loose enough. So just make sure you're doing that so that you'll have a nice flat rug. And now you are done with your t-shirt rug. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like this video, to subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!